everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going to be diving deep into something that has the potential to, well, totally change how we think about apps. GitHub Spark.
Ooh, yeah.
Well, imagine if creating software was as easy as writing, a to-do list where anyone could just whip up a custom tool.
Mhm.
For their specific needs, no coding needed.
Yeah, no coding experience at all.
At all.
Pretty wild, huh?
It is wild. We're talking about personalized learning aids or like a unique news aggregator, even like that silly game your 6-year-old made up
Without a single line of code.
without a single line of code.
It's pretty amazing.
It is amazing. And we're going to unpack just how this is even possible
Yeah.
using this announcement from GitHub next. So Spark's big idea is to make creating software as personal as setting up your computer, right?
Yeah,
You think about it.
like your dev environment.
Yeah, you're spending time customizing your desktop, picking out the perfect font, arranging your icons just so. Why shouldn't we have that same power to personalize the apps we use every day?
Exactly. Why not?
So, but then what exactly are these micro apps that Spark makes so easy to create?
Yeah, they're like these mini hyper-focused tools really designed to just do one thing, but do it really, really well.
Okay.
I mean, think about like that really specific spreadsheet you made to track your fantasy football league. It's that kind of laser focus that Spark is all about.
Okay, so I'm picturing these like tiny bespoke solutions for very particular needs. But can you give us like some more concrete examples from what GitHub has actually shared?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So they showcased an allowance tracker for kids,
Yeah.
that teaches them about financial literacy, an animated world of vehicles where kids can learn about different types of transportation, and get this, a custom Hacker News client that uses AI to summarize those crazy long comment threads.
Okay, wow. Those are some pretty diverse examples. I can already see how this could be like a game changer for anyone who's ever thought like, man, I wish there was an app that could just, but they didn't have the coding chops to make it happen.
Yeah, exactly. And the key to all this Spark magic is its super user-friendly toolchain. I mean, it's all about just removing the barriers
Yeah.
and making the whole process, I don't know, almost playful.
Playful. That's an interesting way to describe software development.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
So walk us through this tool chain.
Right.
What makes it so special?
So first up, you have interactive previews, and
Okay.
this is where the playful part comes in. So imagine typing out, what you want your app to do. And as you're typing, you're actually seeing it like come to life on the screen,
Well, hold on.
like right in front of you.
So you can instantly see if your idea is working how you intended it
Yes,
and like tweak things on the fly?
absolutely. It's
Yeah.
like having digital clay you can mold.
Oh, I love that analogy.
Yeah.
That's great.
So, and then there's revision variants, which is where things get even more interesting. Let's say you have, kind of a vague idea for an app. With Spark, you can actually get multiple AI-generated versions of that concept, each one with slightly different takes on your idea.
So it's like you have this brainstorming partner
Totally.
that just happens to be a super intelligent AI.
It really is.
That sounds incredibly helpful for, sparking creativity and exploring different possibilities.
Absolutely, it is. It really speaks to that iterative nature of Spark, It's not about getting everything perfect the first time around. It's about exploring and experimenting, refining your ideas until you hit that, that sweet spot.
I love that. And speaking of experimenting, what about mistakes? What if I make a change and then I realize, like, oh, no, that was a terrible idea?
Well, that's where the automatic history comes in. Every single change you make is automatically saved, so you can freely experiment without fear, If you don't like something, just rewind.
So it's like a safety net for your creativity.
Yep.
And I bet that history log could be super valuable for learning.
Oh, for sure.
Like, imagine being able to see how other creators, their ideas evolved, what they tried, what worked, what didn't.
Absolutely. Opens up this whole new level of transparency and learning from each other's creative processes.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And finally, we have model selection, which may sound kind of technical, but it's actually really quite simple.
Okay, break it down for us. What's the deal with these models?
So you basically get to choose which AI brain powers your creation,
Sure.
Think of it like this. If you want a playful, creative app, GPT-4 might be your go-to. But if you need something that's really good at analyzing data, well, Spark will give you different options for that.
So it's all about matching the right tool for the job. I'm already starting to see how Spark could be useful for so many things.
Oh, yeah. And that's just the beginning. We haven't even gotten to the good stuff yet.
Okay.
Because remember, creating an app isn't just about the front end, the part you see and interact with, There's this whole world behind the scenes that makes it work.
You're talking about all the technical stuff, like the code, the hosting, all that. That makes my head spin just thinking about it.
Exactly. But here's the beauty of Spark. It takes care of all that heavy lifting for you. It provides a managed runtime environment, which is just a fancy way of saying it handles all the plumbing and the wiring. So you can focus on being the architect of your app.
Okay, phew.
Yeah.
So I can just focus on what I want the app to do.
Yeah.
And Spark handles all the technical stuff.
Yes, precisely. No need to set up servers or configure databases or wrestle with deployment issues. Spark just makes it seamless, effortless.
Okay, that's really powerful. But what are the specific features of this runtime environment? What makes it so special?
Well, for starters, there's deployment-free hosting. This means that as soon as you create or update your app in Spark, it's instantly live, it's accessible on any device. No need to fiddle with servers or any of that. Spark handles it all.
Hold on, so I could make an app on my laptop, and someone could immediately use it on their phone without me doing anything.
That's exactly right.
Wow, that's pretty mind-blowing.
It's all behind the scenes,
Yeah.
Spark's infrastructure is doing all the work.
That's wild. Okay, so what else does this magical runtime environment offer?
So there's also persistent data storage, which basically means that your app can remember things. Think of like a to-do list app. The tasks you enter are saved, and they're ready for you the next time you open the app.
Ah, so no more losing my progress, having to start from scratch every time.
Exactly.
But does this mean that I need to, learn about databases and all that complicated stuff?
No, not at all. Spark's runtime environment has this built-in data store that works seamlessly with your app. You simply tell your app to save the data. Spark takes care of the rest. Incredibly user-friendly.
Okay, that's music to my ears. What else is there?
Well, so this is where things get even more interesting.
Right?
Spark also has integrated model prompting, which lets you add some serious AI power
Yeah.
to your apps
AI power. Okay, now you have my attention.
without being a coding whiz.
What kind of AI features are we talking here?
Think summarization, content generation, translation, even image recognition. I mean, traditionally, adding this kind of stuff would require writing complex code, understanding, all these intricate AI concepts.
Yeah, no, that's not really my forte.
No.
So how does Spark make that easier?
It uses something called prompts,
Okay.
which are basically just simple instructions you give to the AI. For example, you could say, summarize this article in 3 sentences,
Mm-hmm.
or generate a creative story based on these keywords.
And Spark's AI will just figure it out.
Exactly. They process the information. They deliver the results based on your prompts. It's like having a whole team of AI experts at your beck and call.
That's incredible. It really feels like Spark is opening up a whole new world
It really is.
for people who, they're not coders, but they have these amazing ideas
Here
for
we go.
apps.
It is.
It's really.
Yeah. And we've only just begun to explore the potential of Spark.
Yeah.
But before we get too ahead of ourselves, it is still in technical preview, so it's still evolving. It's getting even better as we speak.
So there's even more exciting stuff on the horizon.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. What kind of hints did the source material give us?
So they highlighted 3 main areas that have the potential to be, well, pretty game-changing. First up is expanding collaboration. So imagine Spark becomes this platform, not just for creating apps, but sharing them, remixing them, even co-creating them.
It's like a social network
Yeah.
for app creators. I love that idea.
It'd be amazing to see what people come up with.
Yeah.
All these collaborative projects.
For sure.
And then there's deeper customization. The source material mentions something called X-ray mode, which sounds pretty cool.
Okay, so I'm picturing this futuristic interface where you can see the inner workings of your app. What exactly is X-ray mode?
Think of it as a way to really get under the hood and fine-tune specific behaviors without needing to code. For those that want a little more control.
Okay, so it's striking that balance between ease of use for beginners and then these more advanced options for, people that want to dig a little deeper.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the third area of exploration is expanding capabilities.
Yeah.
And this is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Because the possibilities are basically limitless.
Okay.
They mention things like integration with third-party services, file storage, even vector search.
Wow. That sounds like Spark is really on a trajectory to become this incredibly versatile and powerful platform.
Absolutely. The potential is vast.
Yeah.
I mean, it spans everything from personal productivity to education to entertainment.
Right.
and beyond.
It's amazing to think that we're like witnessing the birth of this tool that could change how we think about creating and using software.
Absolutely.
It's very cool.
It is.
So before we move on to answer your burning questions about Spark. Yes.
We want to leave you with a final thought, a question to ponder as you contemplate the possibilities of this groundbreaking tool.
Imagine a world where anyone, regardless of their skill level, could create an app. What kind of impact could that have on our society, our culture, our daily lives?
That's a really profound question. We'll give you all a moment to reflect on that while we take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be diving into your insightful questions about GitHub Spark. Stay tuned.
Welcome back, everyone. I don't know about you, but my mind is kind of buzzing with possibilities after that deep dive into Spark's features. It feels like we've only scratched the surface.
Oh, we have. You're right to be excited. But before we get too carried away with all the amazing things Spark can do, let's take a step back and address a question that might be lingering in your minds.
Okay.
How does Spark actually turn your ideas into working code?
That's a great point. We've talked about describing what you want your app to do, in like plain English. But how does that translate into, the ones and zeros that computers understand? It sounds like magic.
Yeah, it might feel like magic, but it's actually the result of some, incredibly clever engineering and powerful AI. Remember how we talked about model selection?
Yeah.
Well, those AI models, they're the secret sauce behind Spark's code-generating abilities.
So when I tell Spark I want an app that helps me plan my weekly meals, an AI model just figures out how to turn that into lines of code.
Exactly. Those models have been trained on mountains of code and data, allowing them to understand your intent and then generate that code to bring your vision to life.
That's incredible. But I imagine there's still a level of refinement involved. What if the AI doesn't quite get it perfectly on the first try?
Well, that's where those interactive previews and revision variants we talked about, they come in. Remember, Spark is all about that iteration and collaboration, even with the AI. You can see the result of your instructions in real time, and if something isn't quite right, you can refine your description or choose from the AI's suggestions.
So it's like a back and forth process, like a conversation between the user and the AI until you get that,
That desired outcome, I love that. It's like having a superpowered coding buddy that's helping you refine your ideas.
Exactly. And with the automatic history, you can always go back to previous versions, undo changes, or even explore different paths. It really encourages that experimentation.
It's like having a time machine for your app development.
It really is.
Okay, so speaking of different paths, let's talk about the visual side of things. Spark boasts the thumbable design system, but what does that actually mean for the user?
So basically, you don't need to be a graphic designer to make your apps look amazing. Spark provides this set of, pre-designed UI components and themes that you can easily apply to your creation.
So buttons, menus, layouts, all that's already taken care of. Exactly. You can customize, colors, fonts, the overall style to match your preferences or even your brand if you have one. It's all about empowering you to create these really polished, professional-looking apps without needing a design degree.
Oh, that's fantastic. For someone like me who can, code a bit but struggles to make things look aesthetically pleasing. Okay, so let's shift gears now and talk about the behind-the-scenes magic that makes these apps actually work. We keep mentioning the managed runtime environment, but what does that actually entail?
So this is where Spark really shines in terms of simplifying the development process. Think back to that analogy we used. You're the architect designing your app, but you don't have to worry about the plumbing, the electrical wiring, any of those complex systems that, keep a building running.
Because Spark handles it all for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Traditionally, building an app requires setting up servers, managing databases. You deal with a whole bunch of technical headaches. But Spark's managed runtime environment takes care of all that in the background. So you can just focus on, the creative aspects of your project.
So I can just dive into building the app.
Yeah.
And Spark's handling all the technical stuff for me.
That's exactly it. No more wrestling with server configs or spending hours troubleshooting databases. Spark takes care of it all, making it super accessible and, user-friendly. But let's break down some of the key features of this runtime environment.
Yes. It all sounds so seamless. I'm curious to, understand what's happening under the hood.
Okay, well, first up, we have deployment-free hosting, which we touched on earlier. It means that your app is instantly live and accessible on any device as soon as you hit Save in Spark. No separate deployment step needed.
That's incredible. It really removes all the the friction and barriers that traditionally come with, getting an app out in the world.
Exactly. And then there's persistent data storage, which, as we discussed, it allows your app to remember information.
Right, like saving user preferences or remembering items in like a shopping cart. It's essential for making apps feel, truly personalized.
Exactly. And the beauty is Spark provides all this functionality
Yeah.
without you needing to know anything about databases or, complex data structures. It's all handled seamlessly in the background.
So it's like having this personal assistant who just takes care of all the tedious details.
It is.
Okay, so what other tricks does this magical runtime environment have up its sleeve?
Well, this is where we get to the really exciting stuff, integrated model prompting.
Okay.
Remember how we talked about adding AI superpowers to your apps?
Yes, I'm all ears. Tell me more.
So it's surprisingly simple. You define these things called prompts, which are basically just like plain English instructions. For the AI models, let's say you want your app to summarize news articles. You could create a prompt that says, give me a 3-sentence summary of this article, highlighting the key takeaways.
And Spark's AI models will just take that instruction and do the rest.
Exactly. They analyze the article, they extract the most important information,
Yeah.
and they generate a concise summary, all based on your prompt.
That's amazing. It feels like we're on the verge of this whole new era of app development where anyone can use the power of AI to make truly intelligent and interactive experiences.
It really is an exciting time. It's democratizing access to these, very powerful technologies, making it possible for anyone to build apps that were, I don't know, once only imaginable in science fiction.
It's pretty mind-blowing to think about the possibilities. But before we get too carried away with, visions of the future, we have one more crucial aspect of Spark to cover. What about the future of Spark itself? What can we expect to see as this platform continues to evolve?
That's a great question. And luckily, the source material we're working with gave us some pretty tantalizing hints about what the future holds for Spark.
All right, deep divers, we're back and ready to jump into some of your questions about GitHub Spark. It seems our exploration of this AI-powered app creation tool has it's sparked a lot of curiosity.
It really has, and it's fantastic to show that people are starting to really grasp the potential here. So let's get right to it, shall we?
Let's do it. So our first question comes from Sarah, who asks, how does Spark handle privacy and security? If my app is hosted on GitHub servers, is my data safe?
That's a really important question, Sarah, and one that should be, top of mind for anyone dealing with personal data. Now, while the source material doesn't go into specific security measures, it's important to remember that GitHub, they have a really strong reputation for prioritizing security, protecting user data.
Right. And we also have to consider that Spark is still in technical preview, meaning, it's under active development, it's going through rigorous testing, security being a huge part of that.
Exactly. As Spark moves closer to a public release, I think we can expect to see a lot more detail about their security protocols and, data handling practices. Transparency and user trust they're paramount in this space.
Absolutely. Our next question comes from David, who wants to know, will Spark eventually replace traditional coding? Are developers going to be out of a job?
Yes, the age-old question of, AI and its impact on jobs. While Spark definitely, simplifies app creation and empowers a wider audience to build software, it's highly unlikely that it's going to, fully replace traditional coding.
Think of it this way. Spark is this incredibly powerful tool. It can automate certain tasks, lower the barrier to entry. But complex applications, the ones that, really push the boundaries, they're going to still require that expertise, that ingenuity of human development.
Exactly. There's an art to coding. There's a deep understanding of logic and structure that, at least for now, AI can't fully replicate. Spark is more likely to augment the work of developers, freeing them from those repetitive tasks and allowing them to really focus on, the creative and challenging aspects of development.
It's about collaboration, not replacement, right? Empowering both non-coders and experienced developers to work together to build something amazing. All right, so our next question comes from Emily, who asks, what types of apps are best suited for Spark? Can I create any app I can imagine?
That's a great question, Emily. And while Spark is super versatile, it is designed for creating what we've been calling these micro apps, those small, focused tools that do one thing really well.
Think of those like everyday tasks you wish you could automate,
Yeah,
or like personal projects you've been dreaming of, or even those like bursts of creative inspiration you want to bring to life.
yeah, yeah.
Those are perfect for Spark.
For those larger, more complex applications with, the really intricate features and demanding performance needs, traditional coding approaches might still be a better fit.
Right, but for those like everyday needs, those moments when you think, I wish there was an app for that, Spark gives you that accessible and powerful platform to make it happen.
It's all about choosing the right tool for the job. And Spark really excels at creating micro apps simple, intuitive, and even, fun.
And fun is something we definitely need more of in the tech world.
We do.
Finally, we have a question from Alex who asks, when will Spark be publicly available? I'm really eager to try it out.
Well, Alex, the anticipation is definitely building.
Mm.
But since Spark is currently in technical preview, there's no, official release date just yet. But the best way to stay updated is to sign up for that waitlist on the GitHub Next website.
And based on the buzz and the pace of development, I think it's safe to say that we can expect a public release in the not too distant future.
In the meantime, I encourage everyone to, explore the source material we've discussed today, delve deeper into this world of AI-powered app creation, and let your imaginations, run wild.
Who knows, maybe the next groundbreaking app will be born from a spark of inspiration, ignited by this very deep dive.
It's a really exciting time to be witnessing this. This democratization of app development, the power to create, is now in everyone's hands.
That's a great point. And on that note, we want to leave you with one final thought. If you could create any micro app, what would it be? Let us know in the comments below. Until next time, keep exploring, keep creating, and keep diving deep into the world of technology.